The only thing better than producing a hit might be producing one by accident. BMW knew the R9T was a cool bike they hoped the younger set would like, but they claim to be surprised by just how successful it's been. They didn't really corral as many bearded millennials as they'd hoped, since their numbers tell them the average NineT buyer is 49 years old and as wealthy as the typical K1600 buyer. But maybe that's because that first 2013 R9T was a $15,000 motorcycle? Since then, they've been working to bring that price down to a more affordable place. Putting Scrambler in a bike's title is another good sales tool lately, and the R9T Scrambler got its price trimmed to $13,000 via a few cost-cutting moves, such as using a steel tank instead of an aluminum one, less expensive suspension, etc. After the original R9T and the Scrambler came the R9T Racer, the R9T Pure, and now the fifth and, BMW says, final bike in its heritage line, R9T Urban GS. Urban is the perfect name for it, since this one's styled after BMW's original Paris Dakar 80 GS of 1980. The Urban adds that swell original GS vintage paint scheme, including the red seat, a dirt bikey-looking front fender beak and bikini fairing, and a single muffler exhaust that exits lower on the left than the Scrambler's two-muff high pipe design. Other than those things and a bunch of details, nice details, the Scrambler and Urban both get a 43mm conventional 4-cup front, MiT gaiters, carrying a 19-inch cast front wheel. At the rear BMW R9T Urban provide the same single shock controls, the same shaft drive paralever rear end, carrying the same 4.5 by 17-inch rear wheel. Suspension travel is the same 4.9-inch front, 5.5-inch rear. About the only difference we can spot in the spec chart is that the Urban's seat is 33.5 inches from the deck instead of the Scrambler's 32.5, and BMW says the Urban weighs 2 pounds more, 487, with its 4.5-gallon tank topped up. Beside that, the claim is 110 horsepower and 86 pound-feet of torque, which translated to 102 rear-wheel horses and 76 pounds-to-foot on our dyno for the original R9T. The guttural rumble coming out of the single pipe seems burlier than the NineT's twice pipes, which is nice as you roll through downtown Santa Monica. If anybody protests, you can't tell them you're Euro 4 compliant. There's also a new cable-operated exhaust-type exhaust valve down there in the mid-pipe, to meet the desire for a classic boxer sound while still complying with the noise emissions directive SR 4104. Another place where a few bucks were saved was by deleting the tachometer, which is mostly unnecessary on a big twin you can hear and feel as much as this one. According to the specs, the Urban has the same gearing as the original R9T, which always felt a bit short. There's tons of power to cruise as fast as you want on the freeway, but you can definitely feel the boxer motor thrumming through the Urban's grips beginning from about 75 miles per hour to 85 miles per hour, then it's back again at about 100, which is a bit too fast for comfort on a bike this upright, anyway, though there's plenty more top end left. But this is the first bike BMW's ever loaned us with only 6 miles on the odometer.